Hey, what's happening, everybody? Tommy C here, Shot from the Point News, and because you want it, you want the Onision updates, and we have breaking news from the last 24 hours. Beyond losing your Patreon, beyond the potential FBI trouble, beyond his trouble with Chris Hansen, we have some stuff that happened over the last 24 hours and since our last video, and this is what you want, and we're going to give it to you. The more you respond to the stories we upload, the more we'll follow them up. This was certainly one of them. Onision fans, down. Reason? Don't know. I don't know if this was DDoS. I don't know if they decided to not host him. I'll certainly update the situation when we find out, but this is breaking news right now. Onision fans has been shut down. If you are the owner, contact the provider or contact the hosting provider for more information. So Onision fans, the website is down, and boy, the fans celebrated. Adobe Fox on Twitter, we are winning. Onision site is down. Now, I don't know if that's making reference to a fan group to take the site down, and I don't know how they went about it. Was it a DDoS? Was it this, that, the other thing? Certainly, I do not recommend taking down a website through illegal means. Perhaps this is a situation like Discord responded to the Verge article yesterday that we reported on. I'll put it up right there. That's our last video. And they said they were taking note of the way Onision was using Discord. Of course, yesterday he lost his Patreon because he apparently doxed somebody. He gave their private information out maliciously. Patreon has a policy against that, and he was removed from Patreon. Losing his website is probably not a good thing. And also last night, he dropped a video. I'm on hiatus. Now, Onision was, because Onision is claiming absolutely everything he can get his hands on, fair use or no fair use. I'm not going to play the video, but I can summarize this video very quickly. He says he's going away for a while, that everything is canceled, and he's looking for a new service of sorts to allow you to donate to him. He makes reference, in sort of a childish reference, to that the purple people eaters are out to eat his brains. It was satirical, not unlike yesterday's video. And, it's more of a, I don't care, I'll get around. But he is taking the day off. I also found something pretty interesting. If you know Shiloh, or as she's referred to now, she's a Canadian pop singer that had a reasonably big internet hit about 10 years ago, talked to Chris Hansen the other day. Hansen is really leading the charge with holding Onision accountable. And, going back here where people are celebrating, a lot of folks out there feel like he's never really truly been held accountable for anything that he's done online, and for anything to the abuse of the copyright system to abuse of women, which I witnessed again in yesterday's episode. You can hit it up in the upper right-hand corner of the YouTube screen. And I found it interesting. I did not know much about Silo. She goes by Doll now, according to Wikipedia. And I found this pretty interesting. Greg, here's the thing. I got mixed feelings about this because this could affect me adversely. She apparently had her agent request that Greg take his videos down with her in it 6 years ago. And Greg, of course, because she volunteered to be in them. And it does seem a little weird to me that you can participate in a video, have no problem with being up, and then request to take it down. But I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how things work in the state of Washington. I imagine with that pop star money that she got, she probably can force him into a court of law. But that's not really the point. Whether she should be allowed to take videos down 6 to 10 years after the after she participated, and clearly she did volunteer in them. Greg decided to upload a video where he called the manager, but he did it in a state of Washington where you need two-party consent to record a phone call. This video has now been removed, and I will play you some of the phone call that has now been removed from YouTube.
Hi, I got an email that said I need to remove videos with an artist of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg?
Yeah.
Or is this his manager?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Greg.
Yeah. Permission to use those videos is beyond obvious.
I'm sorry. Is it written? Can you send me a document where she signed off to agree to do that?
Are you saying I had a gun to her head?
Well, there's a straw man.
No, I'm not saying you had a gun to her head. I'm asking for the agreement. If you could send it to me, then we're good to go.
Yeah. Well, to prove in any court that someone was unwillingly participating in a video, I would be amazed to see that happen.
What?
Okay, well, if you give me your address, we can get to court if that's required. I'm asking you, one professional to another, these videos are 6 years old, to remove those videos completely from your site, and just to have some human decency, and to get that. I mean, you
realize these are comedy sketches, right? And when you volunteer to be in a video in a comedy sketch, and it's beyond obvious that someone is willingly in a sketch. Doesn't that seem? Doesn't it? Okay, I mean, let's be real and honest. Let's be real and honest, real quick. Okay, it's obvious she's voluntarily in the videos. It's obvious. Like, there's no situation in which you say, "Oh, that person wasn't willingly in the videos," because they are. It's obvious.
Okay, I'm not interested in the debate.
That's because the debate doesn't work in your favor. It's so obvious. Like,
okay, Greg.
You understand that if somebody's doing something, that they're either willingly doing.
See, what Greg doesn't realize is things like this are settled in courts, and he goes on, and eventually, Shiloh's manager basically tells him, "Hey, you want to go to court? We go to court over this." And he says, "But she volunteered." Well, that's up for a judge to decide. I imagine that Shiloh has a buck or two, and it's not going to really cost her much of anything. And Greg's financial problems are well established, so he's gambling. So she's probably just figuring he has to take the videos down because he can't afford to take her to court. Again, I do think she volunteered for it, but depending on the laws in Washington or where these things were filmed, they may need actual legal permission. Now, it's probably morally wrong, but I don't know that it was legally wrong. I think it's a terrible precedent. Does that mean everybody that called into my podcast can take their request to take their phone call down? It's not a private phone call. You certainly volunteered to call in. But that's up to what Greg doesn't realize. That's up for a judge to decide. But here's the best part. Everything I said doesn't matter. Apparently that was reviewed, or I'm getting reports that it was removed, because you need two-party consent in the state of Washington. So he potentially committed a crime simply by recording that man without his permission. That's how out of whack he is. And argued with him. Oh, she obviously volunteered. She obviously, like, all right, Greg, you won the argument. You still go to court. You're still going to put tens of thousands of dollars to keep these more than likely dead as a doornail videos up. Now, it's like Greg could be in legal right, but I got to be honest with you. In North America, you're only in legal right if you can afford to defend yourself in a court of law. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that's the way the system rolls. And I think that's probably what they're counting on. He can't defend himself in a court, doesn't have the funds. You need funds to defend yourself in court. So if he doesn't take the videos down, they're going to sue him. It's just that simple. And what's messed up is he could be in the right. I mean, in this video with Chris Hansen, she fundamentally admits that she volunteered, right? But that doesn't matter because even if you win, you lose because you got to pay. You got to pay to go to court to defend the videos being up. You know, it's like one of these things when you get claimed by when you're a YouTuber and you get claimed by some Fortune 500 like ABC or CNN. You have no choice to take it down. They could bury you in court. Unless you got the funds to take on a major media company in a court to protect your fair use, you might as well not have fair use. That's the way it rolls. Greg seems to think if he gets an argument with somebody who's not a lawyer, who's going to call a lawyer, that'll change anything. Hey, I won this stupid phone debate. I get to keep my videos up, I guess. I do think it's a dangerous precedent. Anybody calls into a show, anybody that is a part of something can turn around several years later and take it down after they've given their permission. It just shows that YouTube is becoming more corporate. And then if somebody writes a parody song for me and I play it on my podcast, they could turn around and ask me to take it down. If they get famous and I'm still at where I am at, probably have to take it down. Absolutely nutty. Completely and totally nutty. Onision did make a response to yesterday's video. If you think any of my videos are real, you're an idiot or I'm a brilliant actor. Watch my streams to see more typical behavior. And for the love of God, stop falling for it because I'm going to keep puppeting you till I see the strings. He's referring to the meltdown video that he did yesterday. I think it's pretty clear that he's trying to show everybody that he just doesn't care and nothing's wrong. But that in itself is sort of a meltdown. If you didn't care, why'd you post the video? I know Onision's going out of his way to show that this is no big deal and he'll be fine. And he probably like the phone call. He thinks he knows something, but he doesn't. He does these things all the time. He rationalized, I can drop this person's address. It's not against Twitter's terms of service. Yeah, but it is Patreon's. So clearly, he was definitely acting. But I think it's acting to show everybody that he's incapable of being wrong. And the only time he's never admitted that he was wrong. You get the wetland situation. He makes a video saying he's a big environmentalist after he's told thousands of times not to damage the wetland. And he goes through with it because he's convinced himself that he's within the right. He's absolutely incapable of being wrong. And with that comes rationalization of doing things that are just seem to be blatantly illegal. And this is the video. If you want to see it, it's on He's got 55 subscribers. Onision's called the Shive manager and can't manage his anger. Go check it out. And I think that's all we have. That's the big update. We'll keep you going with any Onision updates if they stay. And I think there will be because Chris Hansen is locked in. And remember who told you a month before it happened that Chris Hansen and I was accused of making it up. I had a source. I told you Hansen is going after Onision. This is going to get big. Most of you loved it. Most of you trusted in my source. Some of you didn't. But now you know. Shot from the Point News. We'll get you breaking news. We on it. And I'll see you soon.